Alright, hello. Bugs Bunny is possibly the world's most famous cartoon character. He is almost always portrayed as the hero, easily outsmarting his usual nemesis such as Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam. Although, let's be fair, they would be outsmarted by a light bulb. There's actually very few occasions where Bugs is not the winner of the cartoon. It would be like Wile E. Coyote catching the Roadrunner.
Meep, meep.
Or Sylvester catching and eating Tweety. It just feels wrong. Our favourite rabbit has to be the hero. Compare that to Daffy, who is equally portrayed as the hero and villain, and loses maybe even more often than he wins in cartoons. In this video, I'll discuss 5 cartoons where Bugs is outsmarted by an opponent and ends up losing by the end of the cartoon. So sit back, maybe get some carrots to munch on while you watch, and enjoy. Baton Bunny is a 1959 Looney Tunes cartoon, starring Bugs Bunny and one really annoying fly that will just not leave him alone. We've all been there, especially in summer where you have the window wide open and one really loud buzzing fly will take that as an invitation to come into your house and will not stop bugging you by flying around the room. How can something so small be so loud? The fly in this cartoon takes it to the next level, as Bugs is trying to compose an orchestra, while slowly going insane due to the fly. He snaps and attempts to kill the fly, only succeeding in scaring the whole audience away, while the fly survives to mock him by clapping. Overall, I don't think the fly meant any harm. He's just a fly, and they're all assholes who just want to bug people. Rebel Rabbit, 1949 Merry Melodies cartoon starring Bugs Bunny. Bugs notices animals have high bounties on their heads, but yet rabbits are seen as harmless, cute little fluffy animals.
Rabbits is worth more than mangy old foxes and bears and stuff. It's discrimination. I'm going to Washington.
Clearly they have not met Bugs before, who sees this as a challenge to try and get a bounty of $1 million on his head. Basically, he was attempting to play real-life Red Dead Redemption. He takes it upon himself to make sure rabbits are seen as the most harmful animals in the wild, by turning off Niagara Falls, cutting adrift Florida, although let's be fair, maybe cutting adrift Florida is a good thing. He goes so far, some stock footage videos of the American Army start to attack him, eventually leading to his arrest and locking him up in Alcatraz. It is debatable whether he does lose out in this cartoon, since he did achieve his goal of reaching a $1 million bounty. But ending up in Alcatraz and arguably killing everybody in Florida, it's hard to argue that he ends up coming out of this cartoon as the good guy.
Tortoise beats Hare.
Tortoise Beats Hare is a 1941 Merry Melodies cartoon starring Bugs Bunny and Cecil the Turtle, based loosely on the classic story of the tortoise and the hare. This is one of the earliest Bugs Bunny cartoons, where his personality is still not set in stone. He is much more antagonistic in this cartoon than in later ones. He is the one to challenge Cecil to a race out of anger. He can't believe he'll be beaten by a turtle. Cecil, though, is a smart little cookie, and is arguably Bugs' biggest rival, as Bugs never manages to outsmart him once. In this cartoon, Cecil manages to trick Bugs by phoning his turtle cousin friends ahead of the race and asks them to spread themselves throughout the race course, tricking Bugs into thinking Cecil is always overtaking him and is always one step ahead, driving him insane.
That ought to slow the little screwball down some.
Yup, that's a tough one.
Until he eventually crosses the line thinking he has won, only to see Cecil sitting by a tree having already finished. Tortoise Wins by a Hare is a 1943 Merry Melodies cartoon starring Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, I'm an athlete. I got an athlete's physique. Sure. I got an athlete's legs. Cite me. I even got athlete's foot.
And Cecil Turtle again. The second time these two face off against each other. And Bugs yet again ends up on the losing side. After wanting a rematch, he tries to find out the secret to how Cecil can beat him. Cecil, already ahead of the game, tricks Bugs into wearing a turtle costume to make him more streamlined. Meanwhile, the Rabbit Mafia want in on the action and are going to make sure the turtle does not finish. Or sorry, toitle, as they would say. Throughout the cartoon, they mistake Bugs for Cecil since he's wearing his homemade turtle costume, even going so far as to stop Bugs from crossing the line and helping Cecil to victory by carrying him. It just goes to show you, in the race between the tortoise and the hare will never win.
Now he tells us.
And lastly, we have Falling Hare, which is a 1943 Merry Melodies cartoon, starring Bugs Bunny and a gremlin. Again, as you notice, it is one of the earlier cartoons. They hadn't quite decided that Bugs would be an undefeatable hero yet. It's just so weird to see Bugs, who is usually portrayed to be impossible to trick, getting easily outsmarted by a gremlin.
Why don't you say something? I'm only 3.5 years old.
He does have some real pain in this cartoon. We'd usually see the roles reversed, with Bugs tricking the antagonistic gremlin. It's a really fun cartoon with some amazing gags. It's also one of the few Bugs Bunny cartoons to be in public domain, so that means I can show as much of it as possible, and YouTube can't shout at me for it. So there we go. Those were 5 cartoons where Bugs Bunny was not the hero of the cartoon and actually ends up losing out. What did you think of my list? Can you think of any more examples of Bugs Bunny losing? Let me know in the comments. But for now, that's all folks, so take care and leave me alone.